So after we did our first video, I put up, I was asking people or you guys if it's anything that you wanted to know, or if it is any other information that you want to know about either how we made or any information about our experience here now living in Dominican Republic over 2 years. And the one that had more both, it was how we met. And we already did a video about that, and that video is coming soon. Another question that people was very interested in know is his experience here in Dominican Republic. Things that he probably thought they were different before we moved over here, and now that we have been living here for about 2 years. So that is what is this video about today. So regarding to this topic, it was several items that he thought that was worth it discussing today. And one of those topics it is more money circulating in Dominican Republic than what he does. So just tell us about that.
So basically, exactly what she said. You know, that was one of the, when we started discussing this topic, that was one of the first things that came to my mind, that is more money circulating here in Dominican Republic than, you know, most people think, especially here in Santo Domingo, in the capital. I mean, everywhere you go, you could see the money. You know, you could see, you know, not skyscrapers, well, you can call them skyscrapers, but towers going up all over the place, especially in areas like Piantini and Naco. From that, you could see, you know, the cars on the street, you know, BMWs, Mercedes, Jaguars. I mean, anything you name, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. You know, I seen a Bentley the other day. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of money circulating here in Dominican Republic than most people think. We was out with a subscriber the other day, and one of the things he mentioned when we were sitting there talking to him, and he said, you know, I see a lot of nice cars on the street. He was saying they were BMWs, Mercedes, and then he said it must be a lot of foreigners over here, and we was like, no, them not foreigners driving them cars. Them Dominicans driving those cars, and people have a misconception that, you know, all Dominicans are poor, and that's false. I just said that, like, that's false. You come over here and you spend one day in Santo Domingo, and you'll know that. I mean, it'll put that to rest. That thought, you won't even think that anymore. And, you know, even in our building, you know, I told you, you know, you said several times how much we pay. We pay $1,200, you know, a month to live here, and I think I'm the only foreigner in this building. The rest of the people here are Dominicans. The notion that they can't afford to live like this, or the notion that they don't have any money, is totally false. It's a lot of money circulating in the Dominican Republic. Don't get it twisted. Don't come over here thinking that everybody's poor. And most of the time, the people that's saying, oh, the Dominicans ain't got money, these Dominicans got more money than the people that's making those statements. Trust me. After living here 2 years, you know, after, you know, really getting the lay of the land, there's a lot of money here in Santo Domingo, in the Dominican Republic, in Santo Domingo specifically.
That is a true statement that people are, and that is not the first time it happened that somebody mentioned that they believe, or they think, when they see those expensive apartments or houses or nice cars, they immediately believe that it's foreigners living in here, or they just come and travel. But if you have to say anything, I will say that the foreigners that live here, most of the time they don't even drive, because they believe that we drive crazy. So most of the people you will see driving on the street are Dominican.
That's a good point. Right.
So a lot of people that are here that are retired, that are, like you say, I don't want to say like old people, but yeah, they say, well, if you retire, basically, I mean, that is connected. Sometimes it's not, because I feel like I'm retired, I'm not old. But most people that retire from other countries, they most of the time, yes, I am. I work because I want to. That's how I feel. But
I retired her.
But a lot of people that are retired here, they don't even drive, because they don't want to drive. They just go Uber, or they have somebody to take them around places. So that is one way that you can look at it. But most people that you see in those nice cars are Dominican. So we're gonna have already finished with that topic. So I think the people understood what we mean with that. How you call it? No subject.
Subject topic.
With that topic.
Right.
So let's go to the next one. What was that other one that you were saying that it is not a misconception, but that is something that you find particularly interesting?
The other item that came to my mind was that there are more successful marriages here with foreign men or women with Dominicans than people actually really think. If you sit online all day and you listen to these other content creators who, jump on camera to, talk about, how bad their relationships are and how bad their friends and everybody know relationships are, you will actually believe that there are no successful marriages or partnerships in the Dominican Republic. And again, that's false. I mean, by us living here and meeting people and going out and spending time with these people, we realize that there are more successful marriages here in Dominican Republic than people think. And the problem is, and then you said this in one of your last videos, is the ones who are dissatisfied are the ones that make the most noise. But that's that's life in general. You know what I'm saying? You don't like a restaurant, you're gonna be the first to get on, Google or Yelp or whatever you do and write the review. Most people who have good experiences don't even really say anything about them because they feel, well, I had a great experience. Why would I say anything about it? And a lot of these married couples, they don't feel the need to go online and put a camera, get in front of a camera to tell y'all how happy they are. But a person who's a bad experience, they feel a need to tell you. What about that? What about the email that you got from a guy who said he wanted to contribute to your show because he wanted to come on her show to tell everybody how bad he was treated by his wife and her son.
I will have to think about which one he was gonna talk about because I received several emails about people. They not the craziest thing because those are a personal experience that people have. But the things, there are some things that I can't even imagine that they could even happen, or somebody will come up with something like that. That is not something that I will bring to my channel.
Right, we're not giving a platform to that. Not that we're trying to, not have people express it, but we don't want to give a platform to that. Because a lot of times you don't have all the information.
Exactly, you have to follow both sides for you to even consider. What happened, how it happened. It is a lot of things involved just to hear your side of the story.
Right. So there are a lot more successful marriages and partnerships here in the Dominican Republic. And guys, I wouldn't be, I understand that some people have this hesitancy to, get into relationships because of what they hear. And I get it, I get it. Don't be deterred about what you hear, all the venom that these people spitting online, talking about what happened to them. Like I say, I'm not downplaying their experience and things that may have happened to them, but, again, that's their experience and that's not everybody's experience. It's not my experience. And I'm not talking 1, 2, or 3 couples. I'm talking about several couples that I could say that we've met that lets me know that the statement that I made is very true.
So finish with that point. Let's go to the next one. What is the next statement?
So the next one is, and maybe this is just specific here in Santo Domingo, well, at least for me, because this is where I live, that no one really cares that you're an American. A lot of us Americans come over here and they think that everybody is just going to drop to their knees, fan them with a flag, with a leaf and bow to them, and they don't care that you're an American, especially not in Santo Domingo. Or should I say, especially in areas that are not touristy.
Okay, I was about to say that, yeah, especially in regular areas, that it just were local live. It's not catered to foreigners or tourists.
Right. They listen. They don't care. And I'm telling you because I'm out in there. I'm out in the streets a lot. I go different places, and people hear me speaking English, and people think that I hear when people say, "Oh man, they just like you because you're American, this and that." I don't see any additional attention.
You wanna say that you told me about the supermarket when you was in the supermarket?
Yeah, I'm in the supermarket, and I'm in line, and I'm going to the register, and the lady was ringing up my groceries, and she kind of grabbed one of them, and she made mistake, and she fumbled it on the ground, and it fell on the floor. And I just made a joke. I said, "Do I make you nervous?" I said it in English, smiling. I said, "I must make you nervous." She said, "No." Picked it up, started back scanning, didn't even look me in my eye. Just kept going, and and I'm like, okay, I'm laughing because I'm like, they don't care. I'm just telling you, people think that they're just that. Oh man, we're in a social media era where, they seen Americans. They know Americans. We're not special. They don't treat us special, especially like I said, in the non-tourist area. They don't treat me no special. They don't treat me special. I go to the gym, I go to these places, they treat me they treat me just like I'm a regular person. So, which I thought that, I get some special treatment, because I'm American. But for the most part, just thinking that your American title is going to get you some type of privilege.
But do you consider that a good or a bad thing? Because it's some people that
That's
take
a good question.
yeah, because in this case that you're saying, this probably can be something positive, because okay, sometimes you want to go to places and you want to just be treated like a regular person, because you don't want to be treated as a foreigner, because you don't want people to charge you more, which is I heard that comment a lot before.
Right. I think to be honest with you, I think it's a good thing. Okay. I don't want any special treatment. I don't want any special treatment, but I remember when I used
man, you like when they treat you special, like you like to let them know that you are American, because I seen you before.
I just be trying to see if they're gonna do a little something special for me, but but for the most part, I think you're right. I think that I think it's a good thing. I really don't want any special treatment, but sometimes you do.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. So what is the next one?
The next one may be a little controversial.
Why?
Because the first thing, when I say it, people are going to say, you lying. So that point is, my wife is not a unicorn.
Oh.
Why you make that?
No, I just want to hear what you're going to have to say. Why? Why?
So what I mean by that, people think that Norberis is some type of exception to the rule when it comes to Dominican women, like, because I see it in the comments. I even heard, my guy Russell say it one time when a guy was on his live, and he was like, well, Norberis, is married to a guy from America, black African American. Black guy, and he and Russell said, well, Norberis is a unicorn, and I disagree. I do believe my wife is special, but she's not a unicorn, meaning that she's not the only person, the only woman here who is quality. There are more quality women here, again, than most people believe. It's just where people go and look for them at, or what people have in their mind as to what they want with this, this, I don't want to, maybe it's not a sick fantasy, but it's a fantasy, of the type of woman that they may want. And so, or guys that don't put in enough, make the right decision in actually vetting a woman. So, there are a lot of quality women here, and I'm gonna tell you, I know it because, again, we go out a lot, we hang out a lot, we meet a lot of people, and you can just tell how they carry themselves, that they're quality people. Here's what I see too. I see guys come over here, and all the logic goes out of the window. They're logical on everything else, but they can't see when they can't tell when a woman is not really into them. And I think the reason they do that is because they really like this person and they really want to be with this person instead of really looking at the red flag. How many emails you've got where people have said, hey man, just say, hey, I really like this woman. What should I do? How do I need to act? I really like her. And then the first thing we say is when we talk about it is like, I wonder if she really like them like that. But I just want to let guys know that, you know, she's not the only quality woman here, and I think you guys know that. You know, I'm just really saying that because you know, I'm just really saying that because, you know, I heard when Russell said that, and I also hear people say that she's an exception when she's really not the exception. You know, now you may have women who that. When, you know, the only exception that I would say that's probably about you is that she does have a business mindset. Not all the Dominican women may have a business mindset. You know, a lot of people don't have business mindset, which is fine. That doesn't mean that they're not quality. You know, when I say she's not a unicorn, you know, I'm excluding her business mindset and more about her, you know, her personality, the way she behaves, and, you know, just her mindset is what I'm really focused on. And I think a lot of women are like that here. You know, she's not the only one when it comes to that. So, you know, don't get deterred by, like I said again, by people who get on these their YouTube channels and start spewing off all the nonsense. Because that's exactly what it is. It's just nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree to that. Seriously, it's a lot of quality women here. It's probably not in the age that you want it, because especially the age, like in most part, is come to women, even men, maturity. In some people, never happen. Yeah, it doesn't matter how mature they are. They can be 100, they will probably acting like a baby. But for the most part, that is how life is supposed to be. So the younger that you get somebody, I think the worse it's gonna be, because especially the gap of the age is gonna be totally different.
And I know some guys gonna say, well, you know, why do I wanna, if I'm 45 or 50, why do I need a 50-year-old or 40-year-old woman? Most guys don't want that. And me as being a guy, I understand that. But you also gotta understand that, you know, if you go, you know, 20, 30 years, you know, you're junior, then, you know, there are things that come with that. So, I'm not saying you can't, because there are some times where you can find a woman that's mature, that's ready for that, and that's, you know, which is cool. Yeah, you looked up, you got it, bam. But for the most part, I mean, a 20-year-old, 25-year-old are gonna be 20, 25-year-old people, period. Just like you, what you did. I don't even want to tell you what I did when I was 20, 25.
And time is changing beside the age. It is going, time is changing, and people is think totally different. They before they what probably people like you think. They think they right from the wrong is right. They so it's okay. People. It's a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, you went so hard. I think I'm gonna pour me a little bit this leyenda, guys. I'm telling you, this is top shelf Dominican rum, the leyenda. I typically I love it.
I think that's why he put it on here, here for everybody to see it, because every time we go somewhere, that's what he ordered. He's a leyenda.
That leyenda, you need to, man. And what I like to do is I like to put it in the freezer and let it get real cold. And then when it pours out like a little thicker syrup. And then you go out on the balcony and smoke your cigar and then sip on that, man. Good, tell me.
So let's go to the next topic.
So the next item is Dominicans are very helpful. Now, not that I didn't believe they were helpful in the past, but now just living here, it's like a lot of them will go out their way to help you if they see you need help, you know. An example is if your car, you get a flat tire in the middle of the street. I mean, as crazy as they drive, they will stop and they will help you move your car to the side. Or if, your car's in the, it was one time we was getting our car fixed and this guy's car stopped in the middle of the street.
And you help with the mechanic to push the car.
And I even went out there and helped the mechanic, push this guy's car, and everybody else came out of the store and was helping this person push his car. It's just, I know some people may say, you may think that's just simple, but I mean, I've never seen things like that really happen, in the States. I broke down on the side of the road, in Florida. I had to call her to come get me. Nobody was going to help push my car out on the side, or the tow truck. The only person that came to help me was the tow truck.
So what else do we have?
The next one is, I believe that the country is much safer than I actually expected. And again, I know a lot of these points people gonna disagree with me, because the last video, people came down like, nah, that ain't true. And one guy came and he was just, I'm like, well, they did rip me off. They scammed me at the airport, just crying. One thing I hate, man, I hate to hear a man whining about what somebody did. I mean, I just picture them just, no, you wrong. They did this, they took 50 pesos, that type of stuff. That's just whining. I hate to hear a man whining. You're wrong. But anyway, let me get off on that tangent right there. But yeah, it's always gonna be somebody that's gonna disagree. But what I'm saying is that, these are things that I've experienced. And I experienced that, to me, the country is much safer than I expected, or that, I hear people say. Like, I was reading a comment earlier today, it wasn't on your video, it was on another video, and they were talking about Punta Cana and how they heard that it was bad in Punta Cana, and that they're changing their vacation plans, and it's like, I mean, why? I mean, if you turn on the news, and put it like this, I don't want to speak from the U.S. because that's where I was born and raised. If you can turn on the news in the U.S. and feel safe there, I don't know why you can't feel safe here. That's just my honest opinion. Yeah, there are places here in Santo Domingo and probably throughout the country that, you probably don't want to go or be. But for the most part, I feel it's much safer than I expected. Going to supermarkets, I don't have to worry about getting shot at a supermarket. Going to restaurants, movie theaters, things like that. I don't have to worry about mass shootings. So this country is way more safer than I actually expected. So.
Well, in that subject, I don't want to say anything, because anything that I say on that, I will sound like a bias because I'm Dominican. Because I already know that. There is some places that I have never been in here in my life. Some barrios that I don't go. I don't have business to go over there. If I would have something to do over there, I would go. But I know what to do. I know how to look like, how to act, instead of acting any other way. But yeah, it's just regular places. If you are in the places that you should be, you should have any problem.
Well, let me ask you this: what about safety here in Naco, Piantino, where we live?
I'm gonna tell you this: when I was still living, I spent in the United States 14 years before I came back and live here. Of course, I was coming back and forth every year, twice a year, whatever. But every time that I talk to somebody from here, when I was just, it is a lot going on, it is dangerous, it's a lot of robbery, it's a lot of killing. That is the thing that you hear from Dominicans all the time. But the people that you mostly hear this topic about, these people, especially people that live in the barrios. And if you hear all that all the time, you will even be scared or afraid to come to your own country. But now that I live here, I have Spain. Of course, when we used to come, we used to stay in Buena Vista Primera with my mom. Every time we come, unless we was going to a resort or something like a travel, we would stay in Buena Vista Primera. Until today, we still go some time over there over the weekend, and we spend the night over there. But now that I live in this area, I walk to the bank all the time. I be talking on the phone, messaging people, because with this Airbnb and this thing that I have going on, I'm always messaging somebody. I'm on the street even walking and messaging. I know it's crazy because people drive crazy here. I don't feel any danger. I have never been robbed here in Dominican Republic. I have never been nothing, somebody snatched a phone from me or nothing like that. So in this area, I feel very, very safe.
Even myself, I feel safe walking in this area. I always, whenever I'm walking out, I don't have my watch on. I don't have any, I don't have my jewelry on. Matter of fact, sometimes I just put on some old sweatpants, little raggedy t-shirt. I don't even iron it. And I walk out the house, and because I'm not even trying to bring attention to myself, and nobody bothers me, I try to fit in especially when I'm walking the street, and I don't even have I'm not doing what she's doing. I'm not walking with my phone out. I'm not doing that. Not that I'm afraid or scared. I'm just not going to do it because I know that there's a lot of motorcycles all around, and I just don't do it. So what I do is I have my phone in my pocket, and if I need to pull it out to use it, I pull it out and use it. But I like to. Me personally, I'm just the type of person. I need to be attentive when I'm walking anywhere, not just here. When I'm, I don't know how people walk around the cities with earplugs in their ear, and I'm like, how can you walk around, listen to music? You don't know people coming up from behind you, on the side of you. I just can't do that. So I need to be totally focused when I'm walking in the streets, man, because I need to know what's going on around me. So that's how I operate.
Now, I'm not telling you to walk around here with your cell phone out.
That's what you're telling me.
No. When you say that, I immediately thought about that because it is very easy that people on motorcycles can snatch your phone and take it, especially depending on where you are. If you are like La Duarte, in some area you cannot have not even in your pocket. Just try to have your cell phone safe. I'm saying in this area where I work from home to the bank, because the motorcycle that I see right here from the bank, there is a corner to the bank, it is the delivery from the colmado.
Guys, yeah.
You don't see any other motorcycle, like people like coming from another town or passing by, or people just motoconcho, just doing like transportation. It's just the guys that are delivering from the colmado to this building, that's the people that is all the way around this circle. So that's why I feel very safe. And now if I see motorcycles or people that they are not delivering, because you can tell the difference, I don't have my cell phone out because I know this area already. I feel pretty comfortable doing it.
And one of the things I like about the Naco and Piantini area is because Naco and Piantini are connected. So, you have Naco here, then you have Piantini right here. And typically, they're surrounded by, main streets. Like on one side you have Kennedy, on the other side you have 27, and then you have like Churchill right here, and then you got like Ortega Gasset. So it's like in its own little box, and there are no barriers around Naco and Piantini. So most of the people, as she was saying, most of the people you see walking around either live here or they work in the area, and they're leaving work or going to work. And then the people on the motorcycles are mostly delivery drivers who may work at the pharmacy, or maybe Pedidos Ya or Uber, or grocery store deliveries, things like that. You don't have you rarely see any people it's not a walk-through area. You know what I'm saying? So that's one reason I like Piantini and Naco, because you go to other areas like Bella Vista, which is a nice area. El Million is a nice area, but some of those areas, depending on what side of those areas you are, there's a barrier somewhere around, or behind it or something. So you got people passing through, and so you just got to be careful in places like that.
In that subject, we cover very well.
Yeah.
Do we have something else?
The next one is that things are not as cheap as I thought. Pretty much things are almost the same as the U.S. depending on what you're getting. So in terms of food, if you're not buying fruits and vegetables, they're gonna be pretty much the same.
Things that are grown locally, let's say, put it that way. But anything that is like they cheap or is international is very expensive. It's more expensive than the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, and I like to buy U.S. things because there's just some of the like my cereal I need.
Because you popping?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta have my Raisin Bran. I need my Kellogg's. I need my Kellogg's. I don't want the Dominican knockoff version of my Raisin Bran. My hazelnut cream for my coffee. It has to be what's the hazelnut cream?
Nestle.
Nestle, yeah, Nestle. You know, I don't want the knockoff version of that. You know, I
Or
want my
the store brand.
The store
I don't
brand.
like store brand. I mean, some things are store brand I
Yeah.
like, but some of the things taste totally differently. I don't like.
Right. So, so yeah, things like that. So if you're not buying things locally, which you know we try to, and I'm gonna tell you what's really, really expensive here, and then I'm telling you, you better try to find a knockoff, and that's Tide detergent. It is absolutely expensive, but I do think the meats are cheaper. Certain meats. Now the steaks are. Now if you get like ribeye and things like that, and like filet mignon, strip, those are pretty much the same. But if you just get like basic, like a little thin cut sirloin, I think some of those can be cheaper. Chicken is definitely cheaper. You know, chicken is like $1.75 a pound, which I'm hearing in the States it's, you know, it's $3, $4, $5 a pound. Maybe 5 is too much.
Seafood here is expensive too.
Seafood is pretty expensive.
Which is something crazy because you would think in an island probably would be cheaper, but it's not. I don't know the reason, but it's not.
Right. So, you know, things like that. So yeah, things are not as cheap as I expected. You can, depending on how you shop, you can come out with the same. I mean, I wouldn't say you know, if you bought the same thing in America that you bought here in Dominican Republic, I wouldn't say you'll come out more here, but you won't be too far off. You may save, you know, $50, maybe, you know, maybe $100. Well, $100 is a good savings, but maybe $50, $60 you may save. But other than that, it's not as cheap.
But I would say if you are budget like him, if you are a puppy, that would you spend exactly what you spend in the US. But if you are somebody that like a lot of vegetables, like vegetable fruits, which I love vegetable fruits, like rice, beans, like the potatoes, the yuca, the plátano, those are really cheap over here, really cheap. The other thing is the things they eat, most of the time they are the ones that are expensive.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. She think when she called me bougie, that offends me. That don't offend me, man. Hey, I come from the mud, so I don't, you know, I'm good to be called bougie. I'm okay with that. She think that offend me. I'm glad. Go ahead, say it again.
Poppy?
Bougie.
Bougie poppy. Yeah.
Hey, that's music to my ears. I can fall asleep right here her saying that. I'm okay.
I'm in the middle. I'm a person of bougie with poppy. When I need to be poppy, I am. When I need to be I am wah.
I work my ass off to be bougie, so yeah, I'm good.
Okay, let's jump to the next one.
And the next one is, the last one is, they got way more restaurants than I actually imagined. Listen, man, it's a restaurant on as a matter of fact, not every corner. It's 10 restaurants on every corner. Everywhere you go in Santo Domingo, there's a restaurant. I would put the Dominican Republic, well, not Dominican, I would put the Santo Domingo restaurant scene up against any restaurant scene in any city in the United States, probably except Manhattan, because they know they got restaurants galore. But anywhere else, and maybe not LA, because, you know, but anywhere else, I put it up against it.
Yeah, we do have a lot of restaurants. You will realize that now that we are going out, I mean, we go out a lot and we see so many restaurants. Every time that we pass by a place, we say, oh, I want to try that restaurant. I want to try this restaurant. I want to try this one. For the most part, if you have, I don't want to say all of them because you have, sometimes you something that you don't like. For the most part, all the restaurants that we have here, try here, especially in the Distrito Nacional area, really good. The food is excellent.
Like I say, I'm a Santo Domingo guy. You know, yeah. I like Santo Domingo.
Again, I don't have to say it again, but yeah, that's what it means at the end.
Yeah. So I mean, y'all go on the North Coast if you want to. Hey, I don't know why. I mean, maybe because y'all just like them sandals up there. But
oh my God.
But I'm telling you,
but if some people go to other parts.
Hold on. If you want sandals, go to the North Coast. If you want heels, come to Santo Domingo.
He said it because he was watching a lot of heels last night in a restaurant that we went out with his subscriber. It was a lot of heels.
A lot of heels, man. But I just know y'all want the one with them sandals in the sand, you know.
Oh my God, he's very bad. So I think that is the
telling you,
last topic that we have.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all. Hey, stop listening to these people telling y'all to go on that North Coast with that sandal, with them sandals and sand, man. Better come down here with them heels and concrete. Heels and concrete. Tell you.
So does anything change the sandals and
the
sand
sand?
from the heels and the concrete?
To the heels and concrete. And when I say heels, y'all know I mean high heels.
Then
and
probably
concrete.
your life will change.
Yeah.
And probably you will find you a good wife.
Yeah. Oh, I know they will. I know they will. I know they will. You know what I'm saying? Your wife shouldn't be having no sandals on, man. I'm telling you.
I wear sandals sometimes.
And tell them when you wear sandals.
Well, I'm here in the house cooking, and then when we go to the beach,
Yeah. But what I told you about sandals.
he don't like sandals.
Yeah. If she come out the house with me, I mean, she can go out there by herself. She want to work out there with the house. She, you know, she always have her sandals sliding. But you know, but when we go out, heels and concrete. We won't do no sandals and sand over here, man.
Oh my God. Oh God, I think that's what we have because then this video is gonna be.
And I'm serious, and I'm serious. It's funny, but
I know he's serious. I mean, I know that's what I'm laughing because I know he's serious. Do
man.
you have anything else to say after the sandals and the sandals and the?
I just one more thing. The subscriber we was with last night. Tell him how he just enjoyed, how his head was on a swivel.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed. It's his first time here in the country.
Man, if his head could turn all the way a 360, he probably would have done it. But he couldn't. You know, he couldn't. If his head could do 360, he would have been doing it all night. He just couldn't. You know,
No, you can do that.
head on a swivel. I'm telling you.
We was in a nice restaurant here in the Distrito Nacional, and it was last night was Friday night, and it was a lot of people. I mean, Distrito Nacional, you will see a lot of people, especially at night and Saturdays. I mean, Friday, Saturday. It's a nice crowd. You see people. People here in the Distrito Nacional act very elegant and act the part. That's something that I like here about the city. Where people, I mean, that you have to say about Dominicans, even guys or female, they usually, when they go out, they usually try to look very presentable. But that you get that like here, especially in the city. Mm-hmm. In the probably beach town, or probably people try to be more relaxed. Mm-hmm. But here in the Distrito Nacional, we try to be more the part.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So this is all what I have for right now, or what we have for right now. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.
So after our first video, I put a post out asking people what else.
You could be stopped in the middle of the road. They're gonna, I mean, 2 or 3 cars will stop and put you out the middle of the street, you know. What else? I don't know what else I want to say on that right now. I need to get my talking points ready on that one now. With several couples that were, you know, in our point of view, you know, they seem like happy couples. And of course, we can't tell whether anybody is, you know, well, let me not say that. I don't want to do it because then they say, you're right. Yeah. Dominicans are very, very helpful, man. You know, I was driving in my car, and this is just, so you gonna say the next one?
I don't want to be competing with you, but if you put you something, I can put me something too.